Hello, it's Jeanette with Amazing Paper Crafts. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm back with another video tutorial, and today I'm going to show you how I put together this cute little Tootie-Pop snowman. Isn't he cute? Now, I didn't use all of the elements from Stampin' Up's new Snowman Builder Punch. That's this one, but I did grab a couple of elements from there. But for the most part, I'm using other punches and dies to put this together, and if you'd like to learn how I did it, just continue watching. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of thick Whisper White cardstock, and we're going to be creating the inside of the little snowman. So we're going to need a piece that measures 1 inch by 3 1/4, and we're going to take out our Simply Scored scoring tool, and all we're going to do is just score 1 inch on both ends. So we'll score it at 1 inch here, and we're going to turn it around and score it again at 1 inch. And that's pretty much all we need to do for this little insert. And we're going to just set that aside. Of course, I'm going to fold this and give it a little bit of a crease, and then we're going to set it aside. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take out our glimmer paper. This is called, let me make sure I've got the name right, because it's in the catalog here in Paper Basics. Okay, and it is called the Sparkle Glimmer Paper. Okay, I got that right. Sparkle Glimmer Paper. And then what we need to do is we need to punch our little snowman bodies and the head. And so for that, I'm using the Storytime label, but I'm not going to use the whole label. What I'm going to do is I am going to just line this up so that I'm not going to do like the whole thing, but I'm going to be cutting it off flat on the bottom so that it stands. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line my paper up, and I hope that you can see this, and I hope I get it even, and I'm going to punch. And then I'm going to do the same for the back of the body. I'm just going to line this up. Now this piece that I'm using right now measures 4 inches or 4.5 inches by about 3 inches, so you don't really need to use a whole lot. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, now that I've got my front and back, I'm going to go ahead and cut out the head, and for that I'm going to use the 1 1/8 inch circle punch. It's a scallop circle punch. Now you're going to just need 2 of them. So now you've got both of your body parts, and now we're going to be using some tear and tape, just a little bit of tear and tape. You could use liquid glue too if you want to. So I will be right back because I have to change the battery in my camera. Okay, I'm back. I'm glad I looked up at the camera. I saw this little flashing light saying that I am almost out of juice here. So, okay, so we got our 2 heads, we got our 2 bodies here, and I'm just going to take a little bit of tear and tape, but let me bring in my silicone craft sheet here, my craft mat, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some tear and tape just on this little hump right here of that stamp, of that punch. Here we go. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and use my paper snips to cut this out. Okay, and I kind of want to get rid of just a little bit of that extra. I can fold it over too, but I'm going to use my take your pick tool to pick that up. Make sure that everything is stuck down really good when you do that, and pick up the backer paper. Just the backer paper. And what makes this a little difficult is because of the glitter that's on this paper. Sometimes your adhesive doesn't want to stick very well. So if you use liquid glue, it does work out a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to place my head, you see on that? And I know there's these little notches here, but that's okay. That's going to help you hold the string that holds everything together. Okay, so I'm going to do the same on this side. I'm going to put a little bit of tear and tape, and I'm going to cut that off. And use my take your pick tool. Just press it down really good so it really grabs all of that glitter. And it may seems like it's coming up on the sides, but when you press the head against it, it should really make good contact. So what I'm going to do is to make sure that I've got my head, my back of the head and my front of the head aligned, is I'm going to put them back to back, and I'm going to take and make sure that I've got the scallops lined up as close as possible on the top. I don't know if you can see that or not. I've got my scallops all lined up. Now I'm going to press. Okay, and now I have both of my pieces done here. Okay, now I think what I'm going to do next, I'm not going to decorate them just yet. I'm going to go ahead and assemble this back and this front. And for that, I am going to be using some liquid multi-purpose glue. And I'm going to put glue just on one side for now. And I just have a little bit of glue right there. And then I'm going to just make sure that I have this in the center here. And I'm standing it up, making sure that it's even with the surface of my table. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same on the other side. And it's going to take just a minute or so for the glue to dry. And you definitely want to use liquid glue here, because if you use even with tear and tape, I found that doing this, it can come apart with the pressure of the circle of that Tootsie-Pop. And now I want to just make sure I still have this lined up in both of them. So it doesn't really matter at this point what's the front and what's the back. Okay, I'm going to do all my decorations last. Now I'm going to take some glue dots, and I want to take about 2 of them. And I want to go one and put it right in the center. And I want to do another, put it right next to it. And that is where our Tootsie-Pop is going to go. And so we want to make sure that the tip of the Tootsie-Pop is right in the center, like that. Okay, and we got that right. And now I'm going to take a couple of glue dots, and I'm going to put one on top right here. Oop. My sticky glue dots here. And basically what I want to do is I want to hold the head to the stick of the Tootsie-Pop right there, in the front and in the back. But that's not going to be the only thing that we're holding, that's going to hold it together. We are going to put some baker's twine, some white baker's twine, okay? Well, for now, it's kind of temporarily holding this together. So let me just get, I'd say about maybe 10 or 12 inches of baker's twine. You probably don't need that much. But for me, I like to put a little bit more. And I'm just going to wind this around a couple of times. And here's where you're going to decide what the front and the back is, because you're going to be tying this on the back with a double knot. And that's what's going to hold this little snowman together. And then we can finish decorating it. Now make sure you get the string right on those little notches that are still there from the punch. So just making a knot. I'm not making a bow. And then I'm going to just cut them short. And that's going to be the back side there. So if you want to cut them a little shorter, you can. I think I'm just going to leave them just the way they are. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is work on the hat. Now the hat, I had to do a little bit of thinking. What I need to do is get out some black foil. This is a black foil cardstock, okay? It is a cardstock. And I'm going to be, I needed something for the rim of the hat. And I was looking through all of my dies, and I found in the Hand Lettered Pros, this die, I think it's the L, okay? And so that's going to be the rim of my hat. And then the for the top of the hat, I found in my mini curvy keepsake box die, I found this little square, rounded square with stitches on it. And I thought, well, that would kind of make a good little hat. So putting both of these together, I'm going to take these to the die cutting machine. Okay, and I will be right back. Okay, here we are. We've got our two pieces cut out with those two different dies. And I noticed that this doesn't really hide the hole very well, so I'm just going to do a little bit of trimming here. I'm just going to trim just to the edge of that hole like that, and then I know for sure that this is actually going to hide that hole, and it makes the cutest little rim for that hat. Isn't that cute? You never know what you have in your stash, so just look through and use them for other than what they've been intended for. Okay, so I've got a little bit of snail adhesive here, and I'm just going to center this the best I can. And now I have a little hat that I am going to put right here on his little head. Okay, and for that I am going to use a little bit more snail adhesive. Actually, I want to put like a few layers here. You can use tear and tape too. That would work, or you could use liquid glue too. That would work too. If you want it to stay together really good, liquid glue. You just have to hold it for a little while. Okay, so there is my hat. I think I got a little bit of glue on the shiny part of that foil. All right, and now for his face, I am going to put a little flower on there, but let's work on his face. Let's put these away over here. What I did for his face was I didn't have any black rhinestones. So what I did was I took one of our black journaling pens, and I took some of our white basic rhinestones, and I pretty much just colored the top of them to, you know, just to give it that black color. You could use googly eyes if you have, you know, little googly eyes, but I decided I'm just going to go ahead and use these little rhinestones, and I'm going to put one eye on one side, and I'll put another eye on the other side. Okay, I noticed that I just rubbed off some of that that ink, so I'm just going to retouch it up right there. Okay, now for the nose. For the nose and for the arms, I am going to use the Snowman punch. Okay, it has that little cute little nose there, and of course these cute little arms. And yeah, I'm going to do that. I am going to take a little piece of soft suede, and we're going to cut out the arms. Okay, just like that. Oop. There's our arms, and I'm going to take a piece of pumpkin pie, just a tiny little scrap piece that I have here, and I am going to cut out the nose. Okay, there's our little nose. Okay, so how am I going to put those on? They're so tiny, aren't they? Tiny? Well, let me finish putting the little buttons on this snowman here. So I've got 3 buttons already colored. I'm going to put one right in the center. My head's not in the way. Okay, I'm going to put one right in the center here. Oop, I think I'm going to put one right in the center. You might need a little bit of adhesive to keep them down. And then I'm going to put one above it and one below it. Try to keep them nice and even. There we go. Okay, so I've got the 3 buttons here, and I've got the nose and I have the arms cut out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place a little bit of liquid glue here, and I'm going to use my tweezers if I can find them. Oops. And I'm not going to stick them out too far, but I think I'm going to have one right here. And you can kind of decide where you want to put these little, actually I think I want them going down a little bit like that. And then I'll take another one and I will dip it in the glue and I'll put it right here. Oops. Now I got glue all over me because I'm trying to rush and not take my time. Okay, and of course you can decide where you want your arms to go and just let it dry. Now what we're going to do is just take that little tiny nose, that carrot nose, dip that in the glue, and we're going to go ahead and put his nose on his face right here. Like that. Okay. And of course you can position it any way you want to. I think I'm going to turn it a little bit. Okay. And now with my journaling pen, I'm just going to draw his little mouth. And what I'm just going to put dots here. I'm just going to go right in the center and put a dot right there. And then just try to get them nice and even. Just hold it down until you see the ink coming out of the dot. And of course you can put as many dots as you want to make his little mouth. And you can make them as thick as you want too. But I'm making them nice and thin. Okay, you see. Alright, now it's time to work on his little bow in the front. And what I have for that is in my bouquet bunch coordinating dies. I mean, it coordinates with a beautiful bouquet, but with this die set, there's this little cute bow. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little piece of this glimmer paper in the red, and I am going to take it to my Big Shot, and I will be right back. Okay, here we go. Let's poke this all out. Make sure it's all out. And now I'm going to take a mini glue dot, and I'm going to put a mini glue dot right in the center here on the back, if I can grab a hold of it. And I'm kind of needing to fold that glue dot because it's a little bit big, or just kind of bunch it up. And let's put this right over our string. It's going to have to kind of hide that string, but you don't want to cover his mouth. Okay, and so that's where it is. Oh, look, at one of my arms fell out because I didn't wait for it to dry. So when you're doing that, when you're doing these different steps, you want to make sure that they are dry. I need to add a little bit more glue before you go on to the next step. Okay, now let's work on the little flower for the hat. Okay, see how nicely it stands up there? It is just so adorable cute. I absolutely love it. So for the flower for the hat, I am going to go ahead and use a little flower. I think I'm going to be using this little flower right here from the Beautiful Bouquet stamp set, which coordinates with the Beautiful Bunch, the Bouquet Bunch die set. They no longer, you have to buy them separate because I don't think they are a bundle anymore, but they were not too long ago. So take advantage of those bundles when they're offered to you because they don't stick around very long. Okay, so we have this beautiful gold glitz pigment ink. It is just absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous ink. I love it so much. So I'm going to just go ahead and make a little flower here. I'm going to punch it. I don't know if you can see that it does shine in a certain light there. Okay. Now I'm going to take the die from the beautiful bouquet die set, and I'm going to grab the die that coordinates with that punch, with that stamp, and we are going to punch this out. I just have to make sure that I have it right. Okay, I might need a little bit of tape. Okay, so I have it all punched out. Now, if you want to, you can do it in like Whisper White, and then have a have red, stamp it in red. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, I'm going to just bring out my my stylus, because what I want to do is I want to pick up this little flower just to give it some dimension. This little red flower here, and I'm going to take one of these rhinestones. Oops, where did my flower go? And I'm going to put the rhinestone right in the middle, right there. Okay. And now I'm going to take a glue dot, a mini glue dot. Let me move this out of the way so you can see this. Taking a mini glue dot, or you could dip it in the leftover ink if you want to. But I'm going to take a mini glue dot with my take your pick tool, and I'm going to put it right on the back. And we are going to take this and we're going to put that flower right up here. Isn't he cute? Wouldn't that make a cute little table favor? I just absolutely love him. My little snowman, and we can say let it snow. Although I don't really want it to snow right away. I can very patiently wait for winter to come. I do not like the cold. I don't like the heat, but I seriously don't like the cold. So I hope that you try this with your punches. Get out your tools. Use what you have. But the basic structure of this is so easy. And I did see something similar to this on Pinterest. And this is what gave me the idea to go look for my punches. See what I got that I could make these cute little Tootsie-Pop snowman. So I hope you try this. I hope I've taught you something. And if you need any of the tools and supplies that I used in this video, please go to my website at www.geamazingpapercrafts.stampinup.net. I would be happy to be your demonstrator if you don't already have one. All of the supplies and the tools I use are going to be listed in the video. So once again, I am Jeanette with Geamazing Paper Crafts, and you make it a great day. Bye bye.